Inhlangano yakamhlaba i-United Nations Development Program UNDP iqaleke kusebenza kule live leSwatini ngeminyaka wa-1977 kanti ke ngalwesihlanu nangaphosisi induna eteklela umnotho la kanye nabo baka UNDP bethuleke kuthiwa country program document for Eswatini 2021 to 2025 sifuna ithinta ke lithane of issues bongosi kepha ke nje siyagcila kuleti mbalo yalomhla eksene ngina principal economist ke Mndzebele la Lungile Mndzebele ya Lungile Mndzebele makedlahla uqhamuka khona itiwele teklela umnotho nentuthuko una Onesimus uqhamuka ka UNDP ijale kutalwa eTulu eveni lase Uganda. Mr. Onesimus, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning and thank you.
I've pronounced it right?
Yes,
Onesimus.
perfect.
Number one. And your surname Muhwezi?
Correct.
Okay, makedla uyaphila.
Ngiphilile Kule.
Okay, angivele ngene kuyo lenzaba le madlala. Bumcoka bana i-document nayo lengiphethe country program document for Eswatini 2021 to 2025. Imcoka ngale document.
Asibonge Kule. Le document imcoka kakhulu evini la kaNgwane ngesizathu sekuthi stokhumbula phela ukuthi silive la kaNgwane tindzaba tekukhulisa umnotho.
Yes.
Sitisebenta ngetiningi tethu lesinato la letifake ekhatsi bona laba bakamhlabuhlangene laba United Nations Development Program UNDP laba ke bayasisita kakhulu silive kuthi sikhone sisebenza ndzaba tentuthuko nje silive sitakhumbula ukuthi sinomgogodla wethu lomkhulu lobitwa ngekuthi National Development Strategy.
Yes.
Konke lesikwendako lokusebenza ndzaba temnotfo sifake amandla ukuthi siyawufika phela ephupheni lelikhulu lelive Vision 2022 laba ke bakamhlabuhlangene beta ke basisita ngebuchwepheshe.
Okay.
La beta nabo basite uhulumende ekuthini sine nje silisebenta masinyane kanjani leliphupho lelive sisebenta ndzaba temnotho kuze kuthi phela kubonakala ukuthi le ntuthuko lesisebentako ifika njani kunang lo hluphekile lephasi. So yonke laba ke bakamhlabuhlangene ke bona bayasisita ke nanasebenza tindzaba letisebenza ndzaba tekulwa nebuphuya sitakhumbula nje ukuthi live la kaNgwane sesisebenzile kona kusengekabi ngikho lokugcolisa kakhulu kodwa nje elizinga lekuphuya selehlile. Uyakhumbula ukuthi itolo 2010 besikhuluma ukuthi 63%
yes
wemaswati la kaphile phuyeni sesehlileke kancane kodwa 58.9 nyalo. So laba bakamhlabuhlangene ke basisita ke ukuthi lokusichushisa ngale expertise labeta nayo ubona le buya le kamhlabuhlangene ukuthi nasithi silive sibheke kunanga umgomo lobhekele sisebenta njani ukuthi sikusebente masinyane phindze sibone letithelo letifika kunanga lohluphekile lephasi.
Okay. I'll come back to you, Onesimus. I read the 2016-2020 country program document, and I also read the 2021-2025. This program is saying to me you want to focus on certain thematic areas: poverty reduction, climate change, and governance. How did you choose those areas?
Thank you very much and good morning. First of all, the UNDP country program is the UNDP offer in Eswatini and contribution towards poverty eradication and achieving sustainable development goals within the framework of the UN Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework in Eswatini.
Okay.
And the UN Cooperation Framework in Eswatini focuses on three main pillars of the SDGs. The first one is on prosperity, the second is on people, and the third is on the planet. And the UNDP focus of work for 2021-2025 is linked to the UN Cooperation Framework in Eswatini.
Okay.
And this is informed by the National Development Plan priorities in Eswatini, but also informed the Common Country Assessment, which was undertaken by the UN system and identified key priority areas to focus on, and UNDP's areas of intervention are based on its cooperative advantage within the UN system. The support of UNDP to the country's development priorities within the National Development Plan and the National Development Strategy are derived from the UN Cooperation Framework based on its cooperative advantage.
Okay.
Having looked at the different development challenges in the country, the UNDP program has focused on two main portfolios, two main areas of work. One is on sustainable and inclusive economic growth, and the second is on effective governance. Why we are focusing on inclusive growth and economic development is because of the nature of the poverty structure in the country. Yes, the country is a middle income country, but the level of inequality is high, which is also responsible for the poverty levels in the country. And therefore, if we have to sustain the economic growth and move people out of poverty, we have to be able to deal with the inequality issues. The second aspect is linked to the emerging extreme weather conditions in the country. One of the reasons the UNDP country program is focusing on climate action is because the progress that we are making to achieving economic growth and poverty reduction is being reduced by the changes in climate and the climate risks.
Yeah.
The drought that we had in 2015, 2016, the tropical cyclone that we had in 2021, all those, they divert resources from investing in economic infrastructure activities to crisis management. And this has been compounded by COVID situation, which has even made it more difficult. And therefore the importance of us to focus on climate action and related disasters. Okay. Focusing on governance is very critical for tackling inequalities, because the distribution of wealth within a community, within a household, within a country is determined by the policies and procedures.
Hold it right there, Onesimus. I'll come back to you on that one. I think it was 18 October 2020, the late Prime Minister Lungile Mndzebele, the UN Eswatini, the United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework, benkhona lapha. Kwathiwa leave no one behind. 17 March 2021 kunemhlangano hostwa economic planning established Eswatini Development Cooperation Forum, EDCF. You made my remarks lapha. You said we may not be on track to achieve the SDGs under inclusive economic growth. What's high levels of poverty and extreme poverty, my inequalities in order bangala. Before so climate change and everything else, we are saying to us in Kusile 63%, about 2010, 58.9%, 2017. Kuna na ile ngingwana lana mayidlala. Sekune bantu, I think 20% extreme poverty. Where are these people? Nyakhona nikubona ngoba lunyele nguthola kona ukuthi you must develop imap ma hotspots ale poverty yethu ukuthi lo are you able now kwathi ukuthi lo 58.9% ula bese kusido ya 20 doya ula.
Asibonge Qobani. Uthenzenza basibili ngoba silive sibuka nje letindzaba tephoya kokuqala sitawukhumbula ukuthi tolo lokubesibuka ipoverty ngeke ukuthi temnotfo ekhaya thamba kanjani.
Okay.
Nasiqhubeka ke la sikule lokucwaninga kwetemnotfo kwabonakala ukuthi uyathi kahle buphuya buqhamuka ngetindlela letehlukene. Kuna singakhuluma nje nokuthi bamfana nakuthiwa baphuyile kuthiwa ke umfana akaphuyi kuphuya lo mdali bese ke lo mfana uyaswela akasakhona ukuthola into latidzinga kodembe laba ke kuthiwa laba lo 20% lesikhuluma lesithi extreme poverty ubuta indzaba yokuthi siyakhona yini kubona ukuthi bakuphi babo indzaba ngidawusebenzisa indzaba ye targeting in the country. Sisenengcingwana yekuthi sikhona ukuthi i targeting it's to the point but sinema systems nema structures laka khona ema institutions that have already been established in the country lagenda ukuthi sesikhulumile angisakhumbula ukuthi kuleli tiko lelitekhlela umnotho nentuthuko sineluphiko lwetelibalo
yes
lelungilona lenda lolucwaningo liskiphelele tinombolo bese ke sesiyakhona ke kusikhulumisa lesithombe lesinjena nje nyalo sikhuluma ukuthi sina about 20% wabantu laba baphila extreme poverty bese ke lokho kusita ke ukuthi silitiko silive sikhona kwakhathi inhlelo ukuthi nangulo 20% now uphi lo 20% sephinze ke kunalama structures la kakhona ke la kasetshenziswa angisakhumbula ukuthi uhulumende akakadimeli yena akasebenza inhlelo ukhona umhulumende usebenta at framework or program level bese sekuba khona na imkhono yahulumende sinema NGOs laka implementa yona lenzaba ihlelo lentuthuko yahulumende sinayo ne private sector to some extent nayo lihlangabeta lesita lebambisa uhulumende netiningi tethu namba bo Onesimus nabo basita kuletin bese ke sekuphinze ke leyo mikhono leyo ko sesikhona ngayo ke ukuthi kulama programs la khona asebenza lenzaba targeting asebenze ke phinze nale ku grassroots level communities
okay
kunema committees la kakhona la bese ke kenyalo sekatosita lokho ukuthi sikhone loku verify or triangulate lo 20% ukuphi kahle la in the community
okay
and kusenethi inhlelo ke letinsha letikhona letidakwa ngithi nje leti pipeline letitawu khona lokuthi si identify lama hotspots ukuthi nje lapha kaGogo Shabangu ngiyabekisa vele kulala kadetiko Gogo Shabangu une bamfana batukulu lese babuke Gogo Shabangu lo seka yena kodwa ubuke nawo imbasha yebantu labadzala nana batukulu angibekise labasihlanu nabasiphohlongo vele Gogo Shabangu ukhona yini vele Gogo Shabangu wangasetakala kanjani ukuthi kanjalo leto inhlelo ke leto ngito leli tawusita ukuthi sikhone lokuthi lo 20% kuna Gogo Shabangu kuna Gogo Dlamini kunebamfana laba sebasala bodwana ngiboke laba ke lekuthiwa sebakulophuya lobu tikile lo sebubusweti lobo nyalo nje sikhuluma ngana iCovid besinalo 20% sidinqwaningo ke tsendiwa keja tinkhomba vele tithi labo bantu nalaba lebesithi baphila ngetuko poverty line babuyela phansi laba ke lebesithi bavele basebuswetini ke bona ke bayanza
okay
lokho kusho ukuthi ke vele lobuphuya sisenensaye yaselive uthi kufuna sibambisana ngoba indzaba yephuya ayisiya uhulumende kuphela yethu sonke lokusala ukuthi sikhona ukuthi sibambisana njani kuze ukuthi konke lele sikwenda kunesisho losithi lenvuthuko lothu uyisebenzela mina ngaphandle kwami ayingisidi mina noma isiyo yami
okay
so ilapho nje lenzaba ukuthi asihlanganyeleni khona nalaba labasephuyeni nabo batophuma
angikubambe Mndzebele ngoba siyiteka nje bongosiyebo singayiteka lendaba letilaka le document iningi lendaba kodwa nje ngisi asigcile kunathi lengithemba ukuthi liswathi lonke lifuna ukukhuluma ngayo. I know Onesimus you want to touch on our poverty reduction strategy but I know you'll be tempted to touch on that one, no problem. But I want you to focus on effective governance. You are saying by 2025, oversight bodies should operate independently. Since I know 1977 you were not here.
Yes.
But since 2012...
No, UNDP was here.
Yeah, UNDP was here.
Yes.
You were here for January 2012, right?
Now I've been around since 2019.
Are our oversight bodies effective? Currently in Parliament they are debating the budget 2021-2022 budget. They need to play their oversight role effective. We are speaking about effective governance. Are they effective?
Thank you very much. The part of the effectiveness of institutions is reflected in the service delivery.
Okay.
And in that respect, we see that the government institutions are making progress towards improving service delivery.
Towards being effective.
Yes, towards improving service delivery.
All right.
So there is a lot of work has been done in terms of improving institutions of government in service delivery, and more needs to be done.
Okay.
And like I mentioned, one of the areas where we need to see more being done is in terms of how do you manage the economic governance to remove those who are left behind in terms of tackling poverty. Otherwise, then the issue of poverty will not be tackled if the governance systems are not working well in terms of how do you decide on who gets which benefits. Excellent. How do you decide on the economic policies? What kind of taxation regimes are being approved by Parliament? How do they relate to the person who is less disadvantaged? And how do the policies that are being passed by Parliament relate to the informal sector to make sure that they are part and parcel of the economic growth, and therefore they are not left behind? Okay. Especially now that we are going into COVID recovery. What kind of policies do we actually need to bring people out of COVID crisis and build back better from the disasters? So, like I mentioned, the effectiveness of the institutions is seen in the effectiveness of the service delivery that is given to the citizens.
Right, ngiyakhumbula yebo sivele langena lo mkhuhlane COVID-19 uhulumende usukumile ngiyasikhumbula nje sikhoma sa 45 million lesita ke bosomabhizinisi labancane bebakhona ke nalabo belahlekelwa ngumsebenzi bekhona ke lebakuthola kulapha itiko laka labor. Sizakutika nje le ephuya ngoba ngilangidawugcila khona kakhulu nyalo namayedladlala. Lenye sihlava lesikhona la even liyangicabanga well documented na UNDP uyasikhulumisa indzaba ye corruption. Indzaba ye corruption la kuthiwa uthi UNDP uta supporta the revision of the 2007 National Anti-Corruption Strategy. Now ngifuna ukuthini Mndzebele, anicabanga yini ukuthi lenye into letawenta ukuthi laba lephansi bavele bashone phansi kakhulu nasilava se corruption, and our agencies nanibuka ne economic planning inhleti kula matafula yenhlala kwa ngathi nihlala njani? Are we effective yini as a country in dealing with corruption?
Awubuta kumbuzo ke nawe. Hey good. Indzaba yemagonvane nje ngayibeka kanje.
Yeah.
Indzaba yemagonvane singita ibeka ngako ukuthi isihlava.
Okay.
Lesilimata ikakhulu tindzaba tentuthuko ikakhulu kuthuthuka kwanamba labaphuyilele phansi. Ngoba nje kule sitawukhumbula noma ngita ukuthi khulumende uyayisebenta lendzaba. Ngoba sitawukhumbula ukuthi Minister Finance wayitolo ukhulumile ngokuthi uhulumende uluza emamillion emalangeni ngenyanga kule ndzaba le. Yale makonvane kodwa ke ngidayibeka nje ngokuthi lokusithokotisa ukuthi thina sibosomnotho ukuthi kunetaba letendiwa nguhulumende kuzama ukuthi isebendeke kuvaleke letimbobo. Ngoba uyabona master ukhulumisa ndzaba debuphuya kuze kuthi kube khona meaningful contribution lendeka kusebenta ndzaba debuphuya umnotho ufana ukhule nga 5% lokungenayo. Utawukhumbula ke kulathi sila kangwane so bo 5% sagcina le kuboma 90s. Sikhuluma nje nyalo sihle siba ngaphasi kwe% sihle so sirana in between under 1% to at most 2.5 nyalo siyehla vele with the COVID ke vele kukhulunyiswa ema levels la kaphasi just around 1%. So lenza by corruption it also contributes na kule inequality lenyona leyenda ukuthi umnotho ube setandleni tebamfula abancane lomkhulu lomnene bese lala baphuyile bona awuvele
ngifuna lapho ke Mndzebele makedlala uthi indzaba leyo bengifuna ukuphonda ami lekugcina kuwe ekuthenini na bamla abaningi nje live na ufuna nje imoto ufuna ubalekele kumathapha nombalekele eThekwini angeke uye la labanye bayakhona ngizathu yede kuthi kuthi lona 60,000 la engaround angaba udeposit ngayimo nanibuka nibosomnotho nihledi. Who are in the center of our economy? Who are driving the economy yethu? lo lokutawenda ukuthi vele ngithi mina hawu kahle kahle labantu enikhuluma ngabo laba ngibona la key players kule economy nalaba lembabana ngabe mina ngihlala eRefort. Who are driving our economy?
Iyabona ema drivers economy angisista kwathi ukuthi in the economy ifanele ukuthi kube khona umkhicito.
Yeah.
Umkhicito loba khona eveni lotawuphinze usilethele nemali
FDI,
foreign direct investment.
Yes.
Siphinze sikhone nokuthi si export.
Okay.
Ukuthi sitawukhona ukuthi silive sithole kuba nemali ukuthi ama resources umnotho wethu uphakama. Now lo mkhicito ke lo futhi siyade ukuthi le kufanele ukuthi iphindze sitax kuze ukuthi human live libe nato demand. Lo mkhicito lomkhulu siyambona ukuthi agriculture bekavele anakhuzana akhicita idolo.
Yes.
Inyalo lebese kwendeka futhi nale ku value addition.
Okay.
Khona bese sivele sibona ngale kuma textiles in particular. Kuthi khumbula phela sesibuyile nakagwa sesiphenze sibuyile. Lokho konke ke kodwa uma ngabe ubuka nje lokuthi mbamba lo mkhicito lomningi uqhamuka kuphi.
Okay. Ngiyakuva manje ufuna ukuthini. Okay. No, ngiyakuva ufuna ukuthini. Angihlushwa nginasikhathi angiye lapha ku Onesimus. Again, like you said earlier, the changes in climate did also affect us. You are saying you want to support NDMA in terms of implementing technological savvy equipments, early warning systems. How important would that be?
First of all, the climate of Eswatini is highly linked to the changes in the oceans.
Yeah.
And therefore it is not only just a local issue.
Exactly.
And because it depends largely on what is happening in the oceans, then as a country we need to be able to have good information management system, climate information management system, prediction capacity that enables us to tell before what is going to happen now and later.
Okay.
And therefore the importance of investing in automation of weather systems, but also in terms of strengthening the systems that help response and action at the community level. Because one of the challenges in managing disasters when they have happened is that when sometimes there is early warning, but actually there is late action. The National Emergency Operation Center will give a warning alert that a disaster is going to happen. But actually, the people who are supposed to release the resources for preparedness and making sure that the impact of disaster is reduced, they take action very late.
Okay.
And sometimes the communities also, when they have been alerted, they don't take that serious. They say this is something that happens all the time.
Yeah.
And therefore they delay take action. So one of the issues is to be able to strengthen the disaster management institutions, including NDMA, but also the technical agencies like the meteorology services, to be able to improve their capacity to generate products and services that alert farmers, that alert the other users, that actually this is happening, to enable them to make risk-informed decisions. So it is very, very critical that the community and the country is well prepared to predict and forecast the changes in the weather, but even more important, to prepare the communities and the public on how to respond to these disasters, including financing for response.
Right. Angine ngalendzaba inequality mayidla. Kuthiwa nje bomake bancane kule labor space yethu kunabo babe. Nibuka lo ukuthi yini edinsaye letenda lo ukuthi le live bibe nasikhuluma nje ngeinequality. Kuthiwa izirenka lethu emaveni lamanye emhlabeni.
Inequality le ikakhulu ngolendzaba yebo ukuthi kunebamvu labancane labaphethe umnotho lomningi etandleni tabo bese kuthi labaphwili labaningi baphethe umnotho lomncane etandleni tabo lokho kwenda lokho ukuthi letinhlelo letingitona disagenda kusho kwakuthi lama benefits aletinhlelo awafiki kahle kulaba labatidingako kakhulu. That is one aspect of inequality. Phinde lenye aspect ye inequality inzaba yema equal opportunities. Lokho ukuthi you are talking about ukuthi bomake bancane kunabo babe in laka kwandile live la kangwane ukuthi sonke sesinekediwe mathuba lalinganako. Asesibekse nje etindzabeni ukuthi emathuba emsebenzi akusabukanya lokuthi ngoba gule ngibabe kufanele ukuthi kusasa abe nemndeni noma sowunemndeni so bese senyaqhamuka mina Lungile Mndzebele ngoba mina ngingimake kufanele sikubukwe babe kakhulu ngiyalo nje nangabe sifunze ngalokulinganako nakho sekushana ke ngokuthi lapha nabazivivinya khamba njani se akhona kodwa ke etinza esisaphinze senate saye etindzabende ukuthi bomake etikundleni la kuthathwa khona dinqumo leti ngathi ma decision making positions sisaqeka ngalapho ke kule buka nje indzaba lenye nasibuka ema members ethu eparliament kusibomake bangakanani so lo bomake basaqhutha kanti phela khumbula ukuthi nasadak bese sokhulumela 50-50
exactly
hayi na date so but nje silive vele sisenato lezi kodwa kukhona itimbo lestand up asikhulume sindzaba yemnotho emakhaya kukhona ama programs la ababekile uhulumeni sikhuluma nga 20% walaba ku extreme poverty bayahola bombantu labadzala kube bekude le elderly grant ngabe simo sinjani ngabe sibe kakhulu lokonda ukuthi kusoloku zamalo lokuthi amane phela naye sinebamfana bendlungulu bamfana bendlungulu kube kude obvious grant shothi ngaba bakhona ngesikolweni
exactly
ngaba bakhona ekuphila iCovid nje sishayile kakhulu phinze egule etindzabeni ukuthi kukhona abamfana kuye esikolweni bekuphila kokuthi bathola kufunza bathola nekudla
exactly
kwavala itikolo kusho ukuthi labamfana etindzabeni tabo nutrition sekuvele sekumoshakele sekusho ukuthi nyalo sekufanele kuphinze kufakwe kakhulu tinhlelo leti tawusita labamfana ngoba vele nutritional status sabo sesiaffectekile.
Angikubambe Mndzebele it's a minute after 7 because ngiyathi ukuthi producer wami yana ufuna ngiyongena endzabeni mhlambe kusesikhathi sesifikile vele usale nami nyawu-raise emotion la ngayiraise khona ngithenini mhlambe ngithathe ama headlines ngalo 7 phindze ngichubeka nale ndzaba ngiyacela nje 2 minutes producer Nzinis angigcine Onesimus in a minute. Monitoring and evaluation. We have good policies in this country, great policies, but when it comes to implementation we have questions there. We are saying 3% of the budget will go into monitoring and evaluation. 15% of the program budget will be allocated to monitor gender-related results, away from the gender. How important is to ensure that there is sufficient monitoring and evaluation for the success of these policies? I don't know what you call them, policies or strategies.
Thank you very much. Let me start with the adage that what you can't measure, you can't be able to know the progress of what is happening, and therefore the importance of monitoring and evaluation. The country program emphasizes monitoring and evaluation both for development results but also for the program itself, because if we are not able to know the progress we are making on the investments we are making together with government in tackling poverty, then we will not be able to know whether we are actually investing in the right direction. We have to be able to know who is actually benefiting from the initiatives we are making with the government and the direction those investments are taking. At the end of the day, within the context of the SDG framework, the indicators that we have set in the country program are linked to the indicators of the SDGs. And as a country, this being a decade of action, this is our main focus of making sure that everything we are investing in actually contributes to achieving the indicators and the targets, because there can be so many things that are good to do in a country, but if you keep being taken left and right with the wind, at the end of the day you'll find that you have actually spent the money, but have you actually achieved what you set out to achieve? And therefore the importance of us to invest in monitoring and evaluation. And this is not all about the UNDP country program. No, this is overall the whole life cycle. Even at a household level, you must be able to know, okay, this year we have this amount of money, this is how we want to spend it, and are we making progress towards achieving the results?
Thank you so much, Onesimus. Thank you so much for coming through and shedding some light on this important document. Maidlala, ngiyafisa usibe ngaba nawe emalanga abe maningi man. Iningi ndzaba ngifuna ukuthi sinza lapha economic planning, but nje ngiyethemba leyo ukuthi ngoba lapha economic planning njoba kunyanga abomaka nje kungimachi lo kuna Thula Simelane sijabulako ukuthi indlela lasibambisa ngayo soyafika usibongele nakhona ediyo sisibambisa kahle kakhulu semba sina sinqonkotha nakusasa sinesicela ngoba ngiyafuna ukuthi sinza nje lana ngiyeva ukuthi kufanele kube nema structural impediments zabente production and marketing of selected crops. Onesimus, thank you so much for coming through. Maidlala sabanga kakhulu silbe na sebenza bayiphuya sayinqaba bonkosi. Ngo4 minutes after 7 speculate market estabiyake sasenza batesibili talomhla ekseni. Yeah.